What is up, everybody? Welcome to Theory Unlock, the Gamerz Theory podcast, where we bring you the latest in gaming news, hot topics, industry insights, and a whole lot more. You can always help us out, our small channel, independent team, by either subscribing, liking, and all that good stuff wherever you find this episode and all of our following content. As always, I'm Drew Bosley. Joining alongside me is none other than my good buddy, Michael Fisher. What's up, Fish? How are you doing, man? Dude, how was your week? I had Canada Day yesterday, so I was off.
Yeah, you had Canada Day yesterday. We've got the 4th of July coming up this weekend. It was pretty good, right? I know we're not a sports channel, right? But got to watch the World Cup action going on there. You know, it's taking place in the U.S., so, you know, U.S. advanced yesterday. We love that. But I've just been gaming, man. I can't wait to talk about it. I did the review for this game last week, but man, sand has just fully embraced me. I cannot wait. It is just such a good game, Drew. I've been playing it every single night. Oh man, it's hooked me somehow. It's hooked me.
Oh man, I can't wait to hear about it. That's awesome. That is awesome. Speaking of hearing about it, let's get into today's rundown. We are going to open up with a little bit of what we've been playing. We got the news, some highlights there. Topic of the show was a big one. We got some big news this week. The things are going the way of the dodo. There'll be no more discs coming out in 2028. We'll be talking about that one. That's a big time discussion. And of course, we always end off each and every single week with two highlights, two indie spotlights, where we highlight two games, independent teams that you should check out, games that we recommend. So let's get into it today. Mike, I'm gonna kick to you. Dude, you talk about sand. I want to hear about it. What are you up to? What are you making? What are you building? And how did it hook you?
Man, I had the review over on our website, over on the Substack as well. And, it might be confusing. You look at the review, see that I gave it a 6.5 out of 10, and I'm playing it every night. But I stand by it, man. The PvP on that game is just amazing, right? I've been talking about it with some buddies. We've been comparing it to Marathon, which is not doing so well. And why do we not like Marathon? And why do we like Sand? And it's just Sand does something unique, and that is the Trampler PvP, which is what they call those giant mechs. I'll be honest, Drew, I'm not building anything. I am not creative. I've got two guys in my Discord. They literally will spend 2+ hours streaming their builds to each other. What if we put that here? What if we put that there? And I'm literally just like, ping me when you guys are done so I can hop in, man. I don't care about the building. I don't care about the PvE. I just want to be on my mech with my boys running down other people, man. It has just got me hooked, Drew. Like I said in the review, the PvP on the Trampler, I will say the best gameplay I have played, maybe even in the last 2 years, right? It is just so unique. It is so fun. The cannons are so damn loud. You can't hear a freaking thing, but you're just having a blast. And then everything else in the game, Drew, just sucks. I hate looting. I hate running around. I hate the PvE. It's so terrible. But just the high is so high that even when I die, I'm like, all right, let's go again. Like, I just want to fight somebody on my giant freaking mech. It's so much fun. We nearly stole the highest tier cannon last night. We actually blew up the ship, but then we got boarded and we died because we were kind of messing around. But we were so close, man. The game is so much fun. If you're looking for an extraction shooter, I cannot recommend it enough. Yes, it's going to be a slog. You're going to hate the PvE, but oh my gosh, you get like 2 or 3 of your friends and you're just shooting down another team. Game of the year, Drew, in my book. That part of the game, at least. That part of the game, I don't know if I'll ever be topped. I just wish the rest of it didn't exist because, man, it's so much freaking fun.
That's awesome.
I've also been playing a little bit Destiny 2 as well. I mentioned it, I got hooked. It's kind of fun. My buddy, we got 3 of us now. We're trying to see if we can get 6 of our friends and do like just blind raids. Don't look up any of the raids that have been happening because none of us have played it in so long. We've already forgotten.
Yeah.
Man, Sand, dude, it just got me hooked. But what about you? What do you got going on?
The usual. I do the nightly thing with my wife and friends, right? We're playing Siege. So that's just a nightly staple. I jumped into Predecessor. They launched a new hero this week, so I jumped in and checked that guy out. Very cool. I like the new direction. They've been taking license from other MOBAs of previous Paragon days. So when Paragon went under, right, Epic put up Paragon assets, this, that, and the other, and there was a bunch of teams that thought they could make the next Paragon. Well, very few have actually survived. So those who went under, they've actually pulled in some of their heroes and brought them into Predecessor. And I'm like, nah, I don't care for that one. Nah, I don't really care for that one. But this one, this is like a water dude. He's got like this fin tail kind of thing, and he's got the trident, and he's badass, and he's like a mid laner. So I don't play mid all that much, but actually I don't even play Predecessor all that much anymore either. But I thought, new hero, I want to check it out. got in there. I'm like, this is cool. I might have to just actually jump back into some predecessor here in the near future. But mostly, dude, I'm on embargo stuff. I can't really talk much at all at the moment. You're just going to have to wait. But yeah, I've got a bunch of embargo things I'm working on currently that will be dropping here in the near future is probably the best I could kind of go from that. But yeah, mostly that. That is it. Embargoes. Embargoes and embargoes because it's what we like to do around here. And yeah. I got to shut up before I leak something up. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. But yeah, just the usual, man. Siege, good, bad, the ugly, right? Like you just one minute you get the perfect headshot, and the next minute you're like, holy crap, it's like the ugliest golf swing in the world. So you just never know. But let's get into some news, Michael. I'm going to take this one from you first. This is Quantic Dream confirms that Star Wars Eclipse is still in active development and continues down the road ahead. However, Michael, you covered this article over on the website and over on our Substack. It is not looking that great right now for Quantic Dream, is it? David Cage and team have actually seen some major struggles, major hiccups, and the fact that NetEase, their parent company, is trying to fluff them underneath the rug and swipe them and push them aside to somebody else, sell them off, whatever that may look like. Quantic Dream at one point was just an independent team. Then NetEase comes in, right? Sometimes you want that bigger corporation for a safety net. Bigger corporation ain't doing shit for them. Their safety net doesn't look so good anymore. And I think this is where we're starting to see our industry, where a lot of people are trying to hover in, and then they get bought up by the bigger corporations. Xbox did the same thing for a lot of studios, and now all these studios are getting laid off, getting shut down, one thing and another. Here we are, Quantic Dream. Dude, storytelling out of Quantic Dream is just like no other. There is nobody else who tells a story like that team in their genre, their style. That style is so much. Detroit Become Human is one of the bigger staples from their library that I continue to talk to other people today about my ending versus how their story ended, right? There's just so many variations and opportunities. So when Quantic Dream announced that, hey, we are now working on a Star Wars game, I was like, holy shit, what are we working on now? They basically showed just a cinematic teaser, which doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. Yeah. But the premise behind the fact that it's Quantic Dream, Star Wars, where, dude, this is a throwback. Their very first game I caught them on was Indigo Prophecy. This is like PS2 days. We're going back, right? And then from there, they went into Heavy Rain. They went into Beyond. I'm losing the title. It wasn't the most popular one. And then they came up with Detroit Become Human. And then they've done nothing. Actually, it's not true. They did
Spellcaster Chronicles, right?
That's what it was. And it tanked. Yeah. It freaking tanked. It's
already gone.
It is gone.
Concorded itself. Yeah.
So they went to that, hoping that would keep them afloat while they work on this project. That didn't happen. And then NetEase comes in and like, you guys are not doing well here at all. So I'm a little up in arms. I'm hoping David Cage and team can kind of figure things out because I love their storytelling in the games and then the opportunities it presents, because my path is always so different than somebody else's. There just isn't that mentality, right? Most times these games that bring you variations will then often lead down to one narrow outcome. So it's like, really, I went this way and this way, but I still landed here anyways. So when you play that, Michael, then you're just going to wind up where I did. And I'm like, man. Yeah. Where Detroit Become Human, everybody's path is so freaking different. It was just incredible. So I'm hoping that they can do the same thing with Star Wars Eclipse. The biggest issue for everybody, though, is whether or not they actually survive. That's the troubling part, which is where our whole freaking industry is at right now, right? That's the frustrating side of it as well. Where are you at with this one?
Well, you mentioned that much like NetEase, Xbox did the similar things, right? And we're talking about Xbox and a partnership of theirs that has just recently ended. Of course, IO Interactive, they had 007 First Light, went absolutely bananas. You and I both love that game. Yep. They've got Hitman. They've been working on something for a little while now. Project Fantasy is all we know about it. It's supposed to be a fantasy RPG. Xbox had partnered up with them, but as kind of part of this whole great culling that we've seen from Xbox for the last 2 weeks, Xbox announced yesterday that they are ending their partnership with IO Interactive. Now, IO Interactive has since come out They didn't name Xbox in their tweet. Of course, we've kind of put 2 and 2 together, right? They just said that an external partner. They did say that, unfortunately, this partnership ending is going to lead to layoffs. They said they're working on right now, so we'll have to see how that is affecting them. But they went on to say they're still going to keep working on Project Fantasy and that they want to put this out. I'm very curious how that's going to go. I think when I found the trailer, it was like 2022-ish, so it's been 3 or so years. So you and I know sometimes these games can go 5, 6 plus years, so who knows how close they are. Interesting that they're going to keep working on this, right? You and I talked about it, kind of. Are we safe to spoil the end of 007 at this point? Has it been long enough?
No, I don't think it has. I know some people are still working on it, so we'll leave it. Leave it.
I think that game did amazing, right? They've talked about it. I'd be curious to see if they want to keep that franchise going. So curious to see how IO gets affected. But yeah, I mean, this is just the latest of Xbox
blunders,
right? Just fuck. Yeah, I mean, when is it going to stop? Is really the big question that we have at this point, Drew. What studio is finally going to be the last one we hear about that Xbox is cutting off?
Yeah, so what we've seen from Xbox is everything being internal, right? And then all of a sudden, IO speaks up, and now there's an external team. I was like, oh shit! Like now, what? How is this going to affect the outcome of everything, right? So. That's it's disappointing because I love IO. I think IO is a very talented studio. I'm a big Hitman fan on top of that. So Hitman, it's now called World of Assassination. They basically merged all of the Hitman reboot 1, 2, and 3 into one cohesive piece of content, which is so much content. It's freaking nuts. And then to see them branch off, take their learnings from that and go into 007 First Light, fucking awesome. So a lot of things coincide back and forth, and then they work on this other project while this other one now is finished, to then have Xbox go, yeah, we're gonna cancel that. Like, you assholes, god damn it. Here we go again, right? Xbox right now is shitting the bed. They're just fucking everybody, and it's irritating as hell to watch. Hopefully they can sort things out, because man, every day it's funny, because so if you're on our Substack, you get a daily newsletter from us. And in our daily newsletter, or if you're on our website, you see us constantly covering studio closure, studio layoffs. And I'm just, man, for the first time, I think in a while, I wrote yesterday, hey, for the first time, I don't have to actually mention a studio closure or a studio layoff. And now here we are today, right back into the swing of things. So, god damn it.
Yeah.
We just can't catch a break in this industry, right? Right now, everybody's just, they're pumping out more fucking games ever, and yet you're laying off more people than ever as well. It's just irritating. But the problem is now, like, well, we talked about Bungie, I think it was last week, laying off half their staff. It's like, holy shit, man. There's so many people right now going, what do? Do I even stick around in this freaking industry? For what? Because you're fighting against everybody else? Or do you just spin up an indie team instead? Like, we've seen that go in different ways. And for some, it works. For others, it doesn't, right? Like, how much do you have in the bank to kind of keep you afloat until you can do that? I don't know. But either way, it's been hard to watch regardless. And then for IO, such one of my favorite studios, to then get hit by Xbox going, like, man, Xbox, you guys are idiots. Like, you probably, did you not see how First Light just did? First Light's been a great game. It's climbing in numbers. It's only going to continue to sell, right? So I don't think it's done banger numbers, unfortunately, as much as Hitman 3 did. But I think they have an IP that they can now get to a sequel with, if they're able to.
Potentially.
Right? It has huge potential. Then, okay, this is the launch of the new Bond saga, which we haven't had in years, a great Bond game, right? And then, this is easily one of the best Bond games ever created. So to see a sequel, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm hopeful. But now I'm also kind of doubtful, just the whole circumstances that everybody's at, right? So I don't know. You go to these corporations so they back you and then they just bail out. That's not cool. Like, here we go again, Michael. God damn.
No, I do think part of it does come down to, though, just the length that we talk about, how long these games take to make, unfortunately, right? In Project Fantasy, again, it's already been in development for 3 or 4 years at this point, at least since it was first teased.
Yeah.
At some point, you can't have your games be in the tank for that long, right? Like, same with Star Wars Eclipse. I think we're entering, year 3, I think?
Oh, dude, I bet it's longer than that. When did they announce that? I'm going to look it up.
I thought it was 23. Yeah, well, you look it up, but I think that's I think the part that, again, and I'm not, again, I don't want to say I sound like I'm cheering on layoffs. They always suck, but we are entering
Yeah.
this point where we need to figure out how we can get these games to not take 7+ years to develop.
2021 Star Wars Eclipse was announced.
I mean, at that point, you got to be close, right? And we talked about it. We haven't seen anything.
No, we've seen literally nothing besides the debut trailer, right?
So
and
yeah,
then, holy shit! I was like, come on.
You're paying 100+ people every year, right? I mean, that adds up. So yeah, I think that is something that we've also got to figure out on that development end is why do these games take so long to develop?
Well, it's funny because when the industry first launched, right, you could pump out a game in 6 months.
Yeah.
And now you're at least 6 fucking years. And then they're like, well, we got to close because we didn't make enough money. No, it's because it took you 6 years. Like, what if you made a game in 3, maybe 4 years? Now,
that 3 to 4 feels like the sweet spot.
Right? Like, we're not developers here. By no means do we actually know the ins and outs of how do you make a game. And a game of sheer scope and that scale, too, weighs in. It takes time. It takes effort. It takes. But if you could somehow hone in and pump out a game in 3 or 4 years, maybe we wouldn't be closing studios. Maybe we wouldn't be laying off people, right? There's got to be a way for this to get sped up. Now, a lot of people are looking at AI going, wow, AI is going to take over our jobs and do this and that. Granted, it's going to do some stuff. There's no freaking doubt about it. AI is here. It's not going anywhere. It's only getting more and more ingrained in our industry. But at the same time, man, you can't have a game go for 7, 8, 10 years and then shit the bed. So that's why we're struggling. Somehow, Michael, some fucking how, Skull and Bones is still up and running.
Yeah, I don't get that one.
Right?
I just like that, by the way. 007 took 7 years.
Which is crazy, dude. It's a single player experience, right? Single player, point A to point B. It's not an open world situation whatsoever. No, it is literally A, B.
5 hours max, right? To beat the campaign. Maybe a little more if you're trying to 100% it. And again, I mean, you know, again, we don't have the official numbers, but just the estimates I saw, about 200 million to produce it in those 7 years. Even if it does really well, it's not going to make as much money because it took so long. So yeah, that's the other side of these things is we got to figure out what's taking these games so long, right? And that, you know, if we can get the studio the cost down, you get the game out earlier, it costs less to produce. It's kind of this, you know, self-fulfilling prophecy. Or we're going to take so long to develop, then we're going to have layoffs, which is going to make it take longer, and it just kind of sucks all around.
It's like, can you imagine if they put out Bond in 3 years, 4 years? Right? Now you're in a whole other different conversation because you haven't spent the other 3 years, 4 years in development for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. And then all of a sudden now your 7 year get cut in half. We'll say they pump it out in 3.5, 4 years. The profit they make, because it does sell where it hits today. But because it took 7 years, they can't make their money back. I'm like, God damn it, man. So... yeah, we've talked to Sean Layden about this on the show. We've talked to several other developers as well. Man, it's such a common question for us because we're always so curious. Like, how do we fix this? Yeah. And nobody has nobody has an answer. Nobody. But speaking of fixing shit, can we fix the fact that they're not going to have a disc anymore, Michael? PlayStation is ending physical discs by 2028. Xbox is seemingly set to follow with Project Helix. Where do you stand? Okay, actually, before you even answer my question, I know where you stand because you're a PC guy and you live in the digital age. Yeah. And so here I can't remember her name. I'm so sorry. I had her name. But she posted a thing on Substack that she's disappointed that there will be no more physical copies. Now, Northern Nerdcast, a friend of the show, is a physical guru. He's a physical media guy. He wants it all in his hands. Open up the case. Yeah. There we go. Because your PC world, dude, there is no physical. Your physical died in like the 2000s. Right?
The last physical disc I had was 2010. When I think I installed World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King edition, and they still had to have those like 5 different discs. And then after that, I went all digital, and I have been full digital since. I haven't had a disc since then.
So I started covering the industry about 20 years ago. Show my age, but either way, they at one point would send us the disc, and then as the years went on, the disc went away. We got codes. and it was so
Yeah.
much easier. Dude, it was just so much easier to handle. To this day, because of that, I'm just a digital guy through and through. That pisses some people off, where others are like, man, you might as well embrace it. How do you watch a movie? You're not likely watching it on a DVD, right? Or a Blu-ray. Or how do you listen to your music? It's on my damn phone, right? Like, that's the reality of the age we're in, is the fact that we're now all digital. And unfortunately, you have to just deal with it. So when this popped up, I said to Brad, I'm like, dude, what are you doing now? He's like, my backlog is a mile long. Which, granted, I guarantee it is. Like, welcome to the rest of us, right? My backlog is huge. And then I saw a game drop today on the PlayStation Store. Trine 5 is on sale. I have not played it yet. And Trine is one of my favorite series. I just never got to it because of A, B, and C and review this, review that. I'm like, fuck, man, it's $11. Guess what I'm picking up today? It's not a physical copy. It's a digital copy. And the last thing I want to do, like, I'm a collector. I have all my figures behind me, and I've talked about it many times. I love collecting the figures. I think their action figures are cool. Some of them go with games I absolutely adore and love. The Assassin's Creed franchise is one of my favorite franchises of all time. I've got a ton of Assassin's Creed characters. I will probably look to get more in the future. But damned if I want to get off my ass, go to my TV, take out the disc, dude, and shove another one in, because that's what I'm playing now. Instead, it's just a matter of click. Okay, what do I feel like playing? Go through my library. Take that, and away we go. This really started, though, even before PlayStation or Xbox came out and said they're doing their thing. Mind you, Xbox, I don't believe, actually has, but PlayStation has come up with a full statement, Michael.
Yep.
Saying that physical will be done by 2028. No more physical. But it's GTA 6 that started the fire.
I was gonna say that it is funny. Last week, you and I were talking. There's that big outrage. Oh, GTA 6 isn't gonna have a physical disc. You and I were talking about it, and then PlayStation just kind of follows suit. I'd be curious to see if it was one of those where PlayStation, or if it was just sort of sitting in the tank and they wanted to wait. But I think to me, and I've been looking at a lot of the discourse, right? Because as you said, I've been a digital guy for years now. At this point, I do have a console, but all my games are digital. And I've just been trying to figure out like where the physical disc people are coming from, right? And the couple things that I've seen, the big ones are, right? And ironically, it's PlayStation's doing this, right? It's that whole sharing games with your friends, right? We talked about this a couple podcasts ago, right? That commercial. Here's how you share a game on PlayStation, right?
It was Shuhei Yoshida and Adam Boyes who did that commercial.
Yeah. Which I've seen a lot of people say, like, Xbox just, why don't you just have Sharma and somebody else say this is how you could share on Helix and that would win you the war? I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
But that was the first one I've seen a lot of people say, which to me, all my friends when I was growing up, we all played multiplayer games, right? It wasn't like I could go to my buddy's house and loan him Halo because we wanted to play Halo online, right? So I didn't grow up in that environment. And the other one I've seen is, which is interesting because you just mentioned it, right, is the sale, right? Those getting maybe, I guess it'd be a used title more often, you go in, I've done it a couple times, go get a used title from a store, hey, I really want to play this, but I don't really want to pay full price. I'll take somebody else's copy that they didn't like. And that's sort of going away, which is making games inherently more expensive, which is interesting, right? I never really thought about that. But as you just mentioned, right, you just found Trine on sale for $11, right? So those sales do still happen. I think it makes it harder and more expensive to get newer games faster, right? Because you're always going to have that guy who's like, oh, yeah, I didn't like Gears of War. I took it back to GameStop, and all of a sudden you can get Gears of War E-Day used for $35 a month after launch, right? So I didn't really think about that and that effect, but you nailed it, right? We could have seen this coming from Netflix, right? DVDs used to be all the rage when you wanted to watch movies, right?
Blockbuster, Rogers Video,
the same argument. All the same argument was there, right? Oh, I want to loan this to my friend. Hey, I've got the DVD. You go watch that movie that you've been saying you want to go check out. Or, hey, I've really been feeling something. I'm going to go rent it from a Blockbuster for $5. Netflix, Hulu, all those kind of killed that, right? We should have seen that this digital wave was coming. It makes sense. I'm surprised PlayStation, unless this is maybe sort of a hint. What shocked me the most about their announcement, Drew, is not that it wasn't, hey, when the PS6 comes out, we're moving to all digital. Right. It was, hey, in 2028, we're moving to all digital. That, to me, is very, very odd. Because if the PS6 comes out next year, let's say, like there have been some rumors that it might, is it going to have an optional disc drive? Like, to me, that's maybe the weirdest part is, like, Xbox, all the rumors are like, they're going to just say Helix isn't going to have a disc drive. You can play on disc until you get the Helix. So it's weird to me that PlayStation, instead of giving us a, hey, when the PS6 comes out, we just want you guys to know right now it's digital only. We're sorry in advance. They're just saying we're not going to produce physical discs in 2028. That was maybe the part that confused me the most about their announcement.
So, okay, so speaking of their announcement, then let me ask you a question about this then. Do you think the PS6 launches in 2028?
It would make the most sense, right? It would make
Right.
the sense to kind of maybe say, all right, we're not going to do 2027 and say, all right, get used to, you're not going to have discs. We're clearly not going to have any sort of, scale down play or something like that. So, yeah, I think it makes sense. We're not going to have any backwards compatibility, right, with discs.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how it's going to work with digital. But, yeah, I think that probably is why they're doing it, just saying, hey, we're going to start this in early 2028, and then probably late 2028 is when the PS6 is going to come out. Again, I think this just makes the most sense for the way the industry is going. I've never been a collector. You and I have both said last week with GTA, we said a lot of the same things.
Sure.
And I think you nailed it, right? Like when I have my Xbox right now, and it's like I'm playing MLB The Show. I want to swap over and play something else. I hit one button, man. I don't have to stand up. It's behind my PC because I've kind of got everything on my desk. I don't have to move around, right? I mean, I don't know about you, but I remember as a kid, first time I got a console, had to move it somewhere. My parents just took it up, moved it. We didn't know you couldn't leave the disc in there. Ruined the whole disc, right? That's the other thing. It just, I've done it a couple times where I'm moving my console. I'm like, oh, shit, I left my disc in there. Hopefully it's going to be okay, right? Like, I do appreciate not having to be that cautious. But, I mean, again, I think a lot of people are just going to adapt. I think, what's the figure? It's like 85-15. Isn't that what Sony cited? That 15% of the sales are physical and 85% are digital. So
it's like, why bother?
Really
right?
Yeah,
Why bother?
I mean, I would assume half that physical group is probably going to go digital, right? Maybe you're losing like 5% of your market. I mean, I think at the end of the day, I think it just makes more sense.
The biggest concern is for those who struggle with the internet, right? To have a spotty internet who's going to take days to download a 80 gig, 150 gig.
Oh, I'm in that position right now, and it blows. So I'm gonna tell you, I'm looking at like 18-hour downloads for some of these games, and I feel it. But the problem is, we're not in the old days, right, where I could just plug a disc in and play. Even when I put a disc in, it's still got to download, right? So it's not like, oh, if I had a physical disc, I could just put it in and I'm ready to go like it was back in the Xbox 360, PS3 days. Even if you put a disc in, it still has to down. Yeah, it needs it. If you don't get it, if you don't buy it day one, you put it in. It's still got to download off the disc, which somehow takes like 4 hours. And then, as you said, there's already an update that's got to happen, right? So unfortunately, even just if you're a physical guy with bad internet, you can never play online because there's patches happening like every week, which I think for the most part is good. I think it's good when these games are like, hey, this is a bug, we can fix it. Boom. Already, as opposed to the olden days where it's like, this just exists. Sorry.
Deal with it. Sure.
Yeah, unfortunately, the industry as a whole has already moved away from those people with bad internet, and this is just maybe the final dagger. But it's already been hell. I can tell you right now, I wanted to play MLB The Show. I had to spend 2.5 days downloading updates before I could play, and then I was like, all right, I'm not really in the mood anymore, but I might as well keep checking to make sure it's updated so that when I am in the mood again, I can actually play. Because, gone are the days where you're like, man, I'm feeling, MLB The Show. I'm going to pop. I haven't played in 3 months. I want to pop it in. Even if you have good internet, it's still like, all right, I got to download an update. Yeah, maybe it only takes 15 minutes, but those 15 minutes are like, okay, I was in the zone right then. I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah, the old days of, okay, I'm going to grab this game. Then you open up the case and go, shit, this game's not even in here anymore. It's some other game. And now you're on the hunt for the game you wanted to go play. I was like, man.
Puzzles. Yep, I've done that.
Man, I've done that so many times. So now it's just, man, it's right in my library. So the meme I see go around, there's a meme going around, which I understand and whatever, right? You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. That's the biggest meme, right? So it is, I understand where they're coming from, but the way I worded it, to a few people that I've been talking to over the last few days and such, is that I am normally one to play new games. I very rarely go back to play old games. So for me, this doesn't really matter all that much. I'd rather play the new current because I want to be part of that discussion. And granted, we're also fortunate to get codes sent to us so that we are able to stay up to date on the coverage and the content that we create. So yeah, I understand I'm in a different position, but the days of going to the store, you buy 2 games a year, and that's all you play, are fucking gone.
Yeah.
Right? There are hundreds of new games every day dropping. Man, like, my backlog is huge because I can't keep up with everything. If I had a wall of all the cases, like, man, I'd have no room for my kids to live with me. Like, it's just...
No, exactly.
I don't want that library. I got the library on my console. Granted, some of those games, dude, I've seen them go. They're like, hey, nobody's playing this anymore. We're taking it offline. Shit, I'm never going to play it. Dude, Paragon is gone. Gone. I'll never play Paragon again. I paid money. I paid a lot of money for that game. Now I'm playing Predecessor. But if it wasn't for Omega Studios, I wouldn't be playing the updated, the newer version of Paragon, right? So there are, this is where people are struggling because they're like, hey, well, if I want to go back to a game, then I can't because I don't have a physical copy. But like you say, though, when you get the physical copy, you put it in, it doesn't matter anyways because you got to do the updates, you got to do the downloads, you got to do this, that, and the other. And then once you take it offline, your console's a damn brick anyways. Like, man, unfortunately, like, you are stuck. We are stuck in this digital age, and there is nowhere else for us to go. If you want to play games, you're going to have to suck it up.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the biggest thing is just always going to be that convenience factor, right? And that's where and again, I get the collector's thing. You make a great point with all the cases, right? I remember as a kid, like maybe I had like 20 games. My parents were like, you got to figure something out with all these cases, right? Like they're everywhere. And that was only 20 games. Imagine my Steam library is like 500 games. Imagine if I had 500 cases just blown up across my house. But it's, you know, I've got a Switch. I don't play it all the time, but occasionally I'll you know, there'll be a game I want to play. And guess what? I can go into the Switch store, boom, put my credit card in, boom, the game is already downloading, right? I think that's the other thing that for me, you know, yes, as a kid, I remember I love going to the mall. I love going into GameStop, checking out all the new releases, right? And I am going to feel, I mean, they're still going to go on, right? Because there still is that sort of digital age, but it's just the convenience factor, right? And I was talking to some buddies about this, and we all kind of came up with the same idea, right? Is, you know, I'm not in this boat, but how do they get their groceries? They order them off of Amazon, and they get shipped right to them, right?
Yeah.
And they, how do they get their, I lived with the guy for a couple of years. How did he get almost every single meal? Grubhub, Uber Eats, like literally did not have to leave the house. He would just, we'd be gaming, he'd stand up, he'd walk to the door, he'd get his meal, and he'd go sit right back down, right? Like literally he didn't need to leave the house for days, which, I mean, we were both gamers. So it's like, I can't make fun of him for that. That's a perfect life, you know? So, but it's one of those that everything else has already gone to this digital convenience of I don't have to leave my house. And I think that is where, you know, I think a majority of gamers are, right? When GTA comes out, do I want to go stand in line? Like, midnight releases aren't a thing anymore, which,
dude, those are so gone.
Those are so, they were great when they were happening, but are you kidding me? Do you think I want to go stand in line November 19th in a line that probably does 6 loops around my GameStop to go buy GTA 6? No, I want to be here pre-downloaded, ready to go when the game comes out so I can stare at the servers aren't working, please try again message, right? It's like, that's how it really is. Every single game seems to have those issues. But that's to where it's just like the convenience factor, I think, is so unmatched. And I understand the people, like you said, like Northern Nerdcast, who want to have those physical games. But for me, I just want to be able to, game comes out and we will play it, man. I don't want to have to, all right, I got to go drive to the GameStop that's 20 minutes away. I got to go buy the game, hope they're not sold out, and then come all the way back. I just don't want to do that. I've talked about this a couple of times, right? When I bought the first college football game, CFB 25 that came out, I had to go to 5 different stores, Drew, trying to find the game.
Dude.
Because I was also trying to buy an Xbox at the time, right? I hadn't had a console. And it's like, I had to go to 5 different stores, and they didn't have the game and they didn't have the Xbox. And it's like, I actually could download a damn digital Xbox at this point because I just want to be able to play the freaking game.
Yeah, there's just something about being in the digital age that just makes it easier, right? Like it's just so simplified compared to where we were in the past. Go ahead.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Because when GTA first announced this, right, I saw a lot of people who were saying, hey, you know, you guys went after Nintendo when they did their key cards for kind of maybe almost starting the digital wave.
Sure.
Now it seems all of a sudden Nintendo might be the last of the big 3 to actually do physical games. Do you think Nintendo's going to maybe steal some of these like PlayStation and Xbox gamers, or do you think it's just still so diverse that the physical copy guys are just going to maybe pull away from gaming? Because Nintendo, as far as we know, don't have any plans to stop physical releases.
Yeah, so I saw that article pop up today too. That Nintendo is likely to be one of the last survivors of the physical world, but I think Nintendo is Nintendo, and Nintendo does what Nintendo does. And if you're in a Nintendo, then you're gonna go and play those games, right? But man, I honestly don't need to ever play another Mario game in my entire fucking life. I really don't care. So that is me. But I know there's a huge population out there that are starving for another Mario game, right?
Yeah.
Do they have an opportunity to steal away players? Absolutely not. I feel they do not have, because Xbox and PlayStation are just so honed in on what they do and what they create. Dude, you're not going to play Fable over on Nintendo, right? You're not going to play Wolverine or Spider-Man.
Get the physical copy of it. I can get the physical copy.
Yeah. Right? It's your gaming flavor. It's your gaming taste. Yeah. What are you into? Is that the appealing for Nintendo games? Then cool. Then that you can, by all means, go do that. Go enjoy the next Animal Crossing, right? Have a blast. But Nintendo, as I've aged, I feel like Nintendo hasn't, right? That's fair. They're still in the world where I was a kid. I'm no longer in a kid. I'm playing games where I'm shooting people, I'm blowing their fucking heads off, but then I'm in an emotional storytelling experience as well, other things, and this, that, and the other, right? So it's just, they're just so different landscapes when it comes to Nintendo versus Xbox and PlayStation. But that's
true.
And Grant, like, don't get me wrong, I think we need Nintendo. I don't want to ever see Nintendo go away, because I think Nintendo has some incredible IPs. I play some Nintendo games from time to time. Like, I played Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom and some other games, right? I played Animal Crossing. Fuck, I was there too. But at the same time, I'd rather often go play something else.
Yeah.
But I think, just Nintendo has such a niche group of gamers and followers and diehards that we just need a Nintendo. They don't ever change, I guess is what I'm saying for Nintendo. Don't follow. Fuck PlayStation and fuck Xbox. Don't follow them. Stay with what you're doing, because I believe in Nintendo. It's just not what I want to play. And PlayStation just creates a lot of titles that I do play, and now with the bullshit Xbox is pulling off, dude, I'm more just gearing towards PlayStation. I really, really am. And if they go all digital, I was already digital anyways, right? Our line of work pulled me into that landscape, so I was already invested. It doesn't affect me whatsoever. And when they came out and announced GTA 6 wasn't coming out with a disc, I'm like, who gives a fuck? But there's a lot of people who do, because they want the physical. Dude, I remember the days going to the store. You pick up your game. You know what the first thing you do? You crack that case. You grab that instruction book. And there's nothing like that first physical, oh man, this is cool. Look at this. Now, I'd never want to touch another instruction book ever again.
They don't exist, right? That was almost the first thing to go, right? I mean, I remember the memes of, this was like maybe 5, 6, maybe even longer than that, where it's like you open the thing and it's like a flimsy one-page piece of paper, and all it did is advertise their microtransactions, right? That's all we were getting. So, that one was the first one to go. Now, I want you to put your prediction cap on here, Drew.
Okay.
What do you think is the next, I guess, staple that you and I grew up with in gaming that you think we lose, right? We've lost our instruction booklets.
Oh, man.
Now we've lost our physical discs. What do you think the next sort of gaming staple that you and I grew up on, what do you think the next one we're going to lose is?
Man, that's a great question. Dude, I don't think I have an answer, though, because, like, what else is left? They've taken basically the physical side away from us as it is. What else are you going to take, right? The biggest thing they're taking is our ownership. That's what they're taking, right? Like, that's the biggest thing that we're going to lose out of going digital is our ownership over titles. Because like I say, right, we've already lost some because they're no longer online. Like we saw, I think it was Ubisoft not too long ago, and now they had a string of games. Like, we're no longer supporting these, we're taking them offline. So what do you do, right? So it's the preservation now side of things is coming up, because people are like, man, we got to preserve our gaming history. And I understand that, absolutely. I get where you're coming from, but there's so many games. How do you keep up with all that stuff, right? Like, it's just, what do you have? What are you thinking?
I've got two. I think one of them you can maybe say we've already lost, but I think the next one, a big one I think we'll lose, is going to be the ability to ever play offline. Like, I think it still exists I think, you could argue we've already lost it, but I think it still is there. It's kind of like how physical discs were before this announcement, right? Like
Yeah.
most games and most people are always online, but there's still that subset who want to be able to just play offline. I think that is the next thing we're really going to lose.
Sure.
And the other thing is, and I don't know how they would do this, is I really think we could maybe see, maybe in the 40s, right? The 2040s, is I could see these companies, we've seen it with PlayStation, right? We've heard the rumors from Xbox, is moving to that handheld, right? How can we get away from consoles, and how can we start to put everything on handheld, right? Because people are always on the go, they're on their cell phones.
Sure.
I think that's a long-term one, but I really think in the next 10 years, I would say we're going to get that. Xbox tried it, right? And they got memed to hell, and they walked it back. I really think in the next 10 years, we're going to get you cannot play PlayStation 6 or maybe even PlayStation 7 and the Xbox, whatever the hell they're going to call it, offline. Like, you always have to be online. I think the argument by then, right, by like 2035, let's say, is how many people in the world don't have an internet connection? I mean, it's damn near everywhere already, but I think that is really, I think the ownership that you said, and I think we're going to lose the ability to offline play. They're just going to say, if you're not on, if you can't be online, you have a bad internet, play on your phone or something, man.
Well,
or go play a Nintendo. That's what they're going to tell you.
So if servers go down, my Xbox turns into a brick.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I can't play anything. I can't even play a single-player game. So then I go to PlayStation. I can still play my single-player games there on PlayStation. But yeah, if the Xbox internet, their servers are shuttered, then I'm screwed. My Xbox is just a mini fridge. So it's just kind of like, what do you do? What do you do? Like, it's not my fault that you guys have lost your servers and something, you guys got hacked or whatever went down and shit happened. All of a sudden now I can't play the game. So if I only have an Xbox, which I'm fortunate enough that I don't, I have other multiple sources of gaming. But if I was to have just an Xbox and all you do is hang out with your friends and you play on your Xbox, all of a sudden now you're not playing a damn thing because their servers went for shit. You're like, well, now what do I do, right? Like, I guess I'm not gaming now tonight. Like, that's just, that kind of, man, when you have those plans and you made arrangements to meet with people, meet with your buddies online or whatever else, all of a sudden now it's just gone. But yeah, I think ownership is one of the bigger issues.
You're right, yeah.
I think eventually consoles are going to go. I don't think we're going to have consoles forever. Right now, Xbox themselves have tapped into TVs with Game Pass, right? You can get in on the Xbox Game Pass side if you have, I think might be an LG TV, I think is what it is. It's already ingrained, or Samsung, either way, they're integrated their platform into the actual TV. So no longer do you need a box, right?
Yeah,
so
they're going to make the consoles digital too. Yeah,
exactly.
We're going to lose physical consoles then.
Yeah, so I think that's one of the bigger things is where we head in the next probably 10 years. Like, so PS6 will have a physical console. Project Helix, we're going to have a console, but they're also now integrating console with handhelds and looking to link those together. So yeah, the future right now for consoles and the Xbox and PlayStation is very interesting. I'm curious to see where we land in 10 years, what we are playing on, what kind of device are we playing on? Are we not playing on anything? Is it just the TV and my controller beams like Stadia? Like, dude, Stadia did it. Yeah. I was playing Stadia. I had a blast playing Stadia. I thought it was freaking awesome. And then, man, you guys got it figured out. And then Google's like, all right, we're out. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Man, like, you guys just started. Then, you know what the problem was is that they didn't have any first-party studios to back them to launch games. So they shit the bed because they didn't have enough of a game catalog for it to pull people over. But the tech was there. And then that's when Xbox came in and said, hey, we're going to do the cloud and online streaming. And now you can... Dude, my kid was playing Forza 6 the day before, on my Xbox through the cloud. And it ran perfect. Right? Like, that's where we're heading. But not everybody can handle that. Our buddy Scott, there's no fucking way that guy is about to stream shit to his Xbox, to his TV, to play. He's got to have it downloaded, or it's just not going to work for him. But there's a lot of people, and yourself included, that are in that boat that can't do that, right? So this is where... all of a sudden now, if we're not going to have a physical addition to a game, what do those people do? How do you keep it going, right? Do you just then bounce from the hobby altogether? You're no longer a gamer? Like, how do you keep afloat? Or do you move somewhere else that now you have better internet, so now you can play? Like, there's a lot of factors. I'm fortunate to live in a rural area where I'm able to have high-speed internet and I can game. Like, right now, in my house... there are 3 TVs upstairs. all connected with Xboxes. We all play at the same time. And that's how my house works. So,
remember the days when if, mom took a phone call, you couldn't even be online, man? Like, that's, it's just crazy how far, and I'm younger than you, and I still remember the days of playing online, and then mom's like, oh, grandma called. I'm like, no, like, hang up. Let me finish this freaking game and then call her back. Because, like, I literally cannot be online. It is crazy, the evolution we've seen. It is absolutely, it's great for the most part, but as you said, there's still that subset of people, and I think it's going to get smaller and smaller, but there is still, like, that 15% of people right now who want to play on a physical disc, and unfortunately, in a year and a half, it's not really going to be a reality for them anymore.
Well, that's just it, right? Like, man, I don't know what it takes to convince these people that it's okay. And I don't think you can. I don't think you can. I think they're so ingrained that they need the physical edition that it'll never be the same for them. So I'm curious to see where their future holds moving into 2028, and all of a sudden there is no physical copy anymore. Are you just done buying new games? Are you going to stick with your old catalog? Like, so Scott's brother, for example, only plays old games. Like, he tried playing 007, he's like, nah, I can't play this. I'm like, man. But yet he'll go back to, like, a game that's 5 to 10 years old and play the shit out of that. I'm like, man, that game is old. Old game is old, right? That's how I look. I'm like, old is old. I want to play the new thing. What's the new shiny thing that's everybody's talking about? That's what I want to play. So it's just kind of one of those things for me. But a lot of people hold on to the nostalgia, like to go back to. But man, I don't have time to go back. I have enough things in my day that pull me away, that to hone in for a couple hours to play something. Either I'm on embargoes or I just want to play the newer game. Granted, dude, every fucking night, what do I play? A 10-year-old game. Rainbow Six Siege, right?
Yeah, but it's getting constant updates, right? So it's not really. It's sort of like that ship at Theseus. It's sort of like that ship at Theseus, right? Like, is it a 10-year-old ship or is it a brand new ship that's just got the same model of a 10-year-old ship, right? Because they patch it every other day, and So yeah, I'm with you. That's the same thing. I play a 14-year-old game every night. I play World of Warcraft Classic, but again, it's updated, right? And then I also play the new stuff. So yeah, I would assume a majority of that 15% are just going to kind of suck it up. Like, they're going to bitch. They're going to moan on Reddit or Substack or Twitter or wherever.
Sure.
And then when it happens, they're going to buy the game, right? Because that's what they did already. They just drove to GameStop to buy the game, and now they're going to buy it on their console. And I think some of them probably realize, like, I've been doing this the whole time. Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why wasn't I doing this? And then some of them will, they'll bemoan, I miss going out, and and I think a lot of things I've also read, it's sort of ingrained as like a family tradition, right?
Sure.
Hey, mom and dad, I want this game. All right, we're going to go to the mall. We're going to get GameStop. We're going to get a pretzel from the pretzel place, right? We're going to kind of become that sort of Sunday excursion, right? Maybe for some people, right? We're going to eat at the food court. It's the only time you get to eat out all week, right? Like, I've seen those stories, and I totally get it, right? It's almost ingrained in your memory. And I think, there's some people who are going to you want to hold on to that. Like, I go to the store and I get my pretzel and I go eat in the food court, just like I used to do with my mom and dad. I think they're going to realize, like, man, I've been missing out, but I understand the nostalgia, not of just gaming, but of just how you used to get games. I totally get that. I understand that it sucks to see that go, but we should have seen this coming with Netflix, man. Like, we realized long ago, everybody wants to go digital. Nobody wants to leave their house, or at least the majority don't want to leave their house. And just now, gaming's the latest to join that trend in, like I said, 18 months from now, at least for PlayStation. And I think you and I are both on the same page. Xbox Project Helix is not going to have a disc drive. I don't think it's going to have a purchasable disc drive. I just don't think Xbox. They're already doing so many stupid things. The last thing they should do is announce this. Just keep your mouth shut, and then when you finally debut Helix, just be like, "Yeah, there's no disc drive, by the way." Like, just keep your mouth shut for now.
Don't tell us anything until you launch Project Helix, right? Like, just let us sit in limbo because you've been shitting the bed long enough right now over the last 6 months to stumble one foot over the other to insert your foot into your mouth. Like, it's just been a disaster to watch Xbox this year, and I'm hoping they can figure it out and pull things around. Right now, let PlayStation take a little bit of heat. Like, that's where they're at right now with this whole no disc issue. So I don't know, but I think you're right. I think it'll come to a light sort of thing for some. Go, holy crap, man, this is pretty easy. I'll just download the game. I'm good. But yeah, when you go back to, man, I'm not gonna pull out my old Nintendo or my PS2, hook that up, put it in the disc. I'm like, those days for me are gone, and I don't want to do it anymore. So we don't. This is where I'm at. I'm all digital, man. It's the same way I listen to my music. It's the same way I watch TV. Dude, I stream TV, right? Like, I stream the Jays game. I don't pay for cable. I pay for another fucking service instead that allows me to stream my freaking Jays game and watch them lose. But either way, that's how that goes. Michael, we're not losing, though. We're talking about 2 indie spotlights as we do each and every week as we wrap up the Theory Unlocked podcast. Why don't you kick it over? This is one you've been talking about. What were you actually played this one too, right?
Yeah, this game is out. It's been getting constant updates. I think it's been out for quite a few months, but they've been doing constant updates. I think we're at the point 0.8, I think is what we just are getting in August. So we're almost to that sort of elusive 1.0, but it is a lort. It is a 1 to 8 player co-op roguelite, and it's just one of those great roguelikes where you jump in for 30, 45 minutes, you have a blast either by yourself or with your buddies. There's I think 5 levels. There was 5 levels when I played it. I last played it a few months ago. I've been waiting for that new update. They're getting a new hero as well, so I've been waiting for that August update. But it's just a blast to play. It's got that classic roguelite, right? You hit a couple certain items, you're just completely overpowered, and you just run through everything. But it's still just got that fun. There's 4 different classes, excuse me, right now. There's a 5th one coming in the Paladin, but they've got sort of your RPG staples, right? There's a warrior, there's a bowman, there's a mage, there's a rogue. Now we get our Paladin. It's just kind of that perfect, 45-minute. It fits into that friend slop title that I've always been hitting on, Drew, but you can play it by yourself. Yeah. But it's just a classic roguelite, man. I absolutely love it. Again, they're doing constant updates. I think they had a big sale for the Steam Summer Sale. I think it's still 35% off, too. Nice. So recommend if you're looking for a roguelite, again, that you want to play in 45 minutes, I think Lord is definitely something that we're checking out. But what about you? You've been on this laid back kick recently, and I think you've got another one for us.
I do. I really do. It's funny how that works sometimes, man. I go on this spree of I'm just killing things left, right, and center. Yep. But sometimes, every once in a while, I'm like, man, I just need to zone out. So I think last week I talked about Over the Hill, which is this off-roading chill game, right? Well, this week it's called Wild and Chill. So it's so this studio they created Cast and Chill, which is just a chill fishing game. Well, now they're coming out with their next one. They're working on this title. It's not out yet. It's not ready. You can go wishlist it though over on Steam. And it's a laid-back escape where you voyage, hunt, craft, and go off-grid with your cabin. So it's you and 3 other friends. You can go out, and it's got this survival mechanic behind it, which man, I love survival games. I just like to go out, gather my resources, come back, and build shit, right? I love that. So this is one of those moments where it's just hey, I can go chill. It's got a pixel art style, and it is freaking stunning. It is really, really beautiful looking. And there's some things you gotta watch out for bears, right? There are some aspects to the game, so not completely chill, but it is one of those, hey man, you just want to go out for the day and relax, do some fishing, let's do some hunting, let's bring some resources back, we'll cook them up, whatever, we'll work on building our cabin and getting off grid. And it's just one of those things man, I cannot wait for this to come around because I want to play. Because, like I said, we play a lot of games that are always first-person shooters, third-person shooters. You're always killing something. Now, granted, there is hunting here, right? But it's still just a laid-back atmosphere where there isn't the pressure that you often feel of maybe a heavy story that you're invested in. So sometimes it's just nice to put your feet up, man, relax, and do some hunting. Wild and Chill is something I definitely recommend. And like I said too, also go check out Trine 5 is on sale right now on the PlayStation Store. So just a little side note on that one. But dude, another great episode this week. We do have a couple conversations out in the wild right now for some guests maybe here in the near future. Working on those, so we'll see what we can kind of lock in here hopefully sooner than later. See about getting Sean back on as well. I know Sean Layden had a couple things he was working on before going off to GDC. Maybe we can get Sean back in the action and see what he's up to. Get a fresh update from him. But until next time, everybody, thank you as always for watching. This has been Theory Unlocked, the Gamerz Theory podcast. And until next week, happy gaming. I'm Drew. That's Michael. We'll see you next week. Later.